Right, we're just about ready to go. Game 1. Alliance versus Ninjas in Pajamas. My name is ODPixel. I'm here with the man, the beautiful, beautiful Purge. It's cost me $50, so it better be good. A man with a voice so smooth, middle-aged women, they prefer it to KY. Right, well, welcome to the draft. Let's get him in. Let's get young Kevin in on the court. Here we go. Let's check the team speak. Make sure he's there. Purge, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Lovely. Lovely. Purge, how are you doing? How's your week been?
Pretty good. Played some more Dota lately. I finished my guide more or less. Hasn't been released yet, but I've just been focusing on Dota the last few days, which has been good because, you know, I like playing Dota, so it's nice to be able to get back to that.
Indeed. I mean, is there a date for this guide? Do we have any kind of insider information that you can share with us?
Mostly done with the web page of it, but we're just waiting on a couple more fancy tech issues for the new website to have like image pop-ups and stuff when you go over items and things like that, just so it's a little easier for new players to go straight to understanding what kind of items I have, or what kind of items I'm talking about.
Well, that certainly sounds all very exciting. I'm sure it'll keep us all informed when it gets closer to the time. But today, we are here, Ninjas in Pajamas Alliance, and two very popular teams at the moment. NiP yesterday, arguably a little bit off point. They did get taken down in a bit of a couple of unfortunate games that me and LD followed, but this time they're up against Alliance. It is going to be a tough game for NiP though, because Alliance recently have been doing absolutely brilliantly. They haven't dropped a single game, I believe, out of the last 4, at least, well, at minimum, that they've played. But well, they're here today. They're trying to do something different, picking up the Treant and the Troll Lord first on the side of NiP, and Sniper first. And Treant, he's a hero that's, I mean, Purge, what is up with the tree? Is he really first pick material?
It depends how people play him. I've been seeing a lot of, it seemed like the game yesterday, I think against Ninjas in Pajamas, there was a tree in protector. It looked like he was farming, correct?
Yes.
And he got a fast Aghanim Scepter, and they spread the trees around the map. And the thing that's really good about this is that when you put your trees around all of your neutral camps, then every time you press your ulti, you end up killing about half of those creeps and farming about 400 gold. So every time you ult, you're pretty much getting a kill in terms of farming. So it really increases your farm rate and allows you to get a bunch of stupidly ridiculous items that you normally wouldn't get. And I feel like I didn't watch the full game, but it looked like he had an E-Blade and a Dagon or something like that, which is probably a better way to buy items. When I've tried the tree thing, I'm like, you need mana regen first of all, because you cast a lot of trees and you go around the map and stuff. But I would get refresher orbs. That always kind of felt worthless because it's such an expensive refresh, and the ulti it's a pretty low cooldown. It's about 70 seconds, so it kind of feels like a weird item or weird skill to refresh. But I feel like if people really get the item build down, then it's something that can be pretty strong. The enemy team has to counter it, and if they have heroes that can kill your trees, then they're a little bit better against it. But I think it's viable here. It's possible to counter, and it's also really possible to abuse. So I think it has a really good strength, and I'm happy to see people trying it finally.
Yeah, just recently from the picks, it seems to be very successful in the games that I have seen it picked up, and it is definitely one of those roles, even when you play him as a support, that you do need to be aware that there is the eventuality that if the game goes late, even if he's not had the most amazing early and mid game, he's almost certainly going to find that gold for that Aghanims at the end of the day, and you've got to have the lineup to deal with it. You've got to have someone that's going to be able to carry around a gem. You're going to need to pick up Quelling Blades if you haven't got someone like a Phoenix, like a Storm, someone that can kind of do these AoE tree clears. I mean, Timbersaw was picked up against him once, a fairly nice pick, but a pick that's kind of fallen off recently. And well, they're going to go for the Brewmaster on the side of NiP, and the Avenge pickup for Alliance. Very strong indeed, and also very nice when you've got a sniper, because when you are running that sniper mid, you need to have some kind of backup plan to keep him safe.
Yeah, you really do. I like the other synergy that's in their draft right now. Having Tree and Protector armor with the Troll Blind is really great because, if they throw out auto attacks and they're missing, that doesn't count for the amount of tree armor block that's going through. So it sounds like if Troll gets on top of somebody and he gets armored on top of that, there's a very low chance, or at least the tree armor will go really far and make him a lot more survivable than he would have been normally. So the hard part for ninjas and pajamas is getting on top of the sniper. They may need blink daggers and things like that. I mean, we almost never see Troll blink, but once in a while we do see it picked up. And this might be a good game to do it if you're against a sniper, because otherwise it's a bit hard to close the gap unless you have a stupid movement speed advantage. So I like the draft right now, but in the same vein, Alliance is fairly safe with the 2 picks they start off with, since they can always swap sniper out if he's in trouble. So I think the main thing Alliance has to worry about right now is just strong lanes that are going to come out of Troll Warlord and Brew due to the tree armor, and then maybe sniper getting killed. But there's still a lot of picks to go, so a lot to be said.
Clockwork's being banned out by NiP is an interesting one to me, because that is one of the heroes that does get picked up a lot against the sniper. One of your token gap closers, and Slark as well, a hero that's often banned when a team picks up the sniper. You don't need to ban it if you're going to run it themselves. And so the Slark works very nicely against the Troll, one of those heroes where the Troll can't man fight straight face to face if you have got that ult available. And arguably, if you're going to go with the Slark against a Brew, do you think we're going to see the Orchid Malevolence build on the Slark? Also, seeing as he's playing against the Storm Spirit as well.
I don't know about the Orchid build. No. I feel I understand why it's good, but it's good against Brew and Storm, and it just falls off. It's kind of a waste of money. Yeah. It's like good because of the silence, but it also feels like a waste. There's other items that Slark usually needs. It might be better if he just tries to play it out without the Orchid until he ends up getting an Abyssal Blade, is usually the safer way to do it, but there is something to be said about Orchid allowing you to do ridiculous things. But I think in a pro game that's maybe not as likely. It's hit or miss, and it's a bit of too big of a gamble. If it misses, then you have an Orchid on Slark, and you're like, wow, I have mana regen, and I've got attack speed, which is good, but I have all this int that it's completely irrelevant. So I feel like Orchid is too dangerous.
Okay.
The other reason they pick Slark, though, is to counter the tree armor, because with Dark Pact, you can remove that very, very rapidly. He can remove Blind, he can remove Overgrowth, he can remove Drunken Haze. He's a pretty good hero in this case. The only downside is he'll be missing Beastmaster a lot because of the passive evasion, but I think Slark's a pretty good pick here. I think that's going to be their safe lane. If he gets a Blink Dagger, he can go around ganking. It'll be pretty good. He doesn't have to worry about the Brewmaster Pandas too much unless they lift him in the air. And then a Disruptor pick as well, which will be the counter to Storm that they probably needed.
Yes, absolutely. Catching out the Storm, and also, indeed, for the Brew to make sure he doesn't get that primal split off. And sorry, Purge, we're going to have to interrupt to ask you, have you got open audio mic? Someone is saying that you haven't. They could be wrong. Is it?
I forgot. You're completely right.
There we go. We've saved Dota. For all you guys buying the in-game ticket, there we go. You can now enjoy Purge's beautiful voice, as well as just him.
Sorry.
It's all good. Lich, final pick for Ninjas in Pajamas. And looking at the lanes, are we expecting the Brewmaster on the offlane or the Storm Spirit in the offlane?
Definitely not Storm.
No.
Storm is one of the 2 carries this game, so he's definitely going to want to guarantee farm. It might even be, it's entirely possible that, it's going to be Brewmaster probably, most likely is much more likely. Especially with a Lich, he's going to be guaranteed farm. It's one of the ways to put a hero in the offlane that's not as normal in the offlane is put him with a Lich, because the wave will always be pushing towards him, and you'll get a lot more experience from sacrificing your allied creeps. So a dual lane of Brewmaster Lich sounds pretty solid. It also has kill potential. If the support gets out of position, they can definitely die. So I think that'll be a pretty good dual offlane.
Yeah, any lane with a Lich in is certainly not nice during the earlier stages. And Alliance, final pick, they did this the other day. They pick up the Darkseer. And I'll be honest, in the past few weeks, Alliance, they're the only team that I've really seen picking him up, and Nikwa is certainly very, very good on the hero. I mean, Darkseer, what's happened to him, other than the vacuum cooldown that constantly gets nerfed? Why is he not as popular as he was in the past?
I think part of it is that people just got really used to playing against him. I mean, people picked Darkseer in the pro scene for something like 2 years straight. It was ridiculous. Basically, ever since TI2, he's been picked, if not longer than that, really heavily. And then he just kind of started falling off. People started saying that he wasn't that amazing at fighting and stuff, but he's still good, I think, and he can farm really rapidly, so you can always bring good items to the table. He doesn't necessarily carry himself, but he can farm so fast that he'll have maybe a Shiva's late game or a Sheep Stick, but he's definitely going to have a mech or a pipe or other important items, he's not bad essentially. And him comboing with Static Storm is really useful as well. If you can catch 3 heroes in a Static Storm or 4 heroes in a Static Storm, that fight is completely won if you think about it. So if he can get a Blink Dagger and you can do a combo with Darkseer and with Disruptor, you're talking about a fight win, and that's going to give you a stupidly big advantage. And you can even combo him in the early game. Ion Shells on Slark with Slark on a Blink Dagger and ganking is going to do a huge amount of extra damage output. So he's good at laning, he can test people's farm, he can kill tree armor pretty fast. There's a lot of good things about Darkseer in this game, I think, and a lot of mobility as well. Surge 1 on allies to make up for troll balling around the place. There's a lot of good things that Darkseer will help his team do that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
And I really feel Alliance's draft, they're sticking to what they know, and they're certainly playing with their strengths. NiP, a fan of the Darkseer. The Pycat Sniper, recently we've seen him do absolutely devastating things with, and well, the Magicka on the Venge, a lot. Ake, Disruptor, one of his better supports, and Loader on that good old slide. You can never go wrong with a bit of old fishy action. So, NiP, Purge, what's going on the side of the Dire?
Well, it looks like Era's going to be playing the Storm Spirit, and the safe lane is going for a fast Soul Ring. Handskin, is that how you say that? It's playing Trio Protector. We've got Jonas Somfan playing the Troll Warlord. Might have a fight here. We'll see. Yeah, this guy looks pretty dead. I don't know if there's the first stun. Going to be the leap. Yeah, he looks so dead right now. Might need a bit more damage, though. It's going to be close. A little more attack moving in. Yeah, that'll be a dead hero. That was the Troll Warlord. He goes down. No Binding Word for him either. And then we have Seal Kid playing the Lich. And finally, Limp playing Master. So it is going to be a dual off lane with Brewmaster and Lich. Not too surprising. Range creep will go first. That'll die. And it's a safe lane Darkseer, actually. So they're going to put Darkseer versus the dual lane, which isn't that weird. And then the aggressive tri-lane versus the Storm Treant, which actually is a really good idea here. Because that dual lane is pretty weak, and with a regular tri-lane, they can easily stop them.
Yeah, this is, I'm certainly liking the idea from Alliance, as you said. Against this dual lane, Storm Spirit very vulnerable before he hits that level 6. And just being in a situation where he's not going to have the solo XP, it's arguably a little bit more of a riskier place for Era to find himself in. And Treant, other than the living armor and the nice little slow from Leech Seed, they haven't got any huge impact spells to stop Alliance if this tri-lane does decide to go aggressive and catch Era out. Mid lane, Pycat against the Troll. Pycat, I think he's going to do fairly well in this matchup. Troll, he's still not too bad against the Sniper, but Pycat Sniper is certainly something on another level. And NiP, as you said in this bottom lane, the fact that they're putting him on his own, he should be able to do fine. It's going to be an issue for Limp, who's trying to find farm on the Brewmaster. But look at this, a lane swap. Do you think this is the best move for Ninjas in Pajamas?
Yeah, I think Storm was going to get nothing if he sat up there like that. And Storm versus the Darkseer is not terrible because he has a way to counter push really hard. So even if the Iron Shell creeps do push up a lot, he's going to be able to stop that. So I think this is a much better 1v1 setup, and now it's actually resembling real tri-lanes. And the other really important thing to point out is that when you're playing Radiant off lane, you have a lot less experience than you normally get. Are we going to see a glimpse now? Not even level 2 yet, but in the Radiant off lane, you get a lot less experience than you normally do because you can't jungle. You can pull this large camp over, but if NiP blocks it or something like that, then it's really going to limit the amount of experience that Alliance gets. And then if you put a Lich on top of that, then you're just in a bad spot with 3 heroes that can't easily rotate to go jungle, and it's a little bit harder to rotate to gank, so it can be kind of tough to play. So I like the Lich being up here as well. I think it's actually pretty good.
It's going to be able to hold back the aggression mid lane though. Troll, Magicka pops in with a cheeky little magic missile. Troll trying to go aggressive on Pycat, bringing him low, but the rotation from Venge was enough to allow them to turn it around. And Alliance now 2-0 on the board. Top lane, Leech Seed onto Loader. They're trying to go in on him. He has been able to jump away. And there's not going to be enough damage from NiP. Just not a lot of control. And in fact, if you look at stun potential, they've not got a lot, NiP, really, to keep hold of this. For instance, just the Slarkers, he's going to be zipping around the fights as the game enters the mid-game.
Yeah, this will be a little tough. I might see Brewmaster in trouble. He does get Knight fielded. Nice field there by Ake. Stun comes through as well. Nova on effing mad as well. And he's going to be just fine. Troll armor. Salves up as well.
I'm maybe thinking about going back in here. Okay. Getting slowed down. Hanskin trying to punch Loader. Loader will throw himself down to the low ground. And the lane swap are definitely stronger. Yeah, they've got to go back to base by the looks of it.
A lot of them grab boosts really fast on. They didn't have any regen items, anticipating their lane stomping, but now with NiP all here, they're trading enough hits where they're all out of regen, so there's going to be a little bit of a lack of fighting for the next 1 minute, which would be really good for Brewmaster. He can get an extra level or 2 advantage over them. I mean, Loda, for example, is only level 2, and that's the Radiant team's carry, and that's one of their 2 carry potentials, other than Sniper in the mid lane. Luckily, he's got a kill, but with him still being level 2 here, it really limits his ability to accelerate. He's actually going to TP to the bot lane, going for a kill on Storm here. They can definitely get the Storm's not 6 yet, especially if we get an Iron Shell on Slark. No, and he's actually going to pull the wave immediately. This is pretty smart as well, because then there's going to be a lane equilibrium. We can have maybe another support. Oh, he actually doesn't get a full wave. Oh, he salvaged it. He got 3 creeps. Pretty big save.
Now we'll see how well it works out for Loda moving to down there. Mid lane, Jonathan fan. Needed to be careful because there was a rotation from Magicka. Hansken and Seal Kid actually coming around as well to see if they could turn it onto the Venge. But Venge is going to hang around mid. Pycat, he's having a pretty good start here in the mid lane. 17 CS. Jonathan fan is on 17. Actually, it's bang on. It is bang on in the mid lane, just with the deficit being the fact that Pycat did get that kill on the troll. Hansken wandering around the jungle, thinking if he could go in with a nice leech seed, the slow on top of Troll's slow as well, with the axes coming out. Could be a potential to find a kill here on Pycat. But it looks like they're not going to be able to find the opening to go, as Pycat keeping himself safe. And NiP now on this top lane, so changing the lanes around more. So they've sent Ake down here with Loda, and they put DS up here with the Venge.
Yeah, a lot of lane swapping is something that you have to do. At very high levels, it's very often, because it's easier to predict how things are going to go. You can't just say, oh, this sucks for us, let's just outplay them. That doesn't really work often. It's better to swap the lanes around to try to keep things good for you. So it's not too surprising that Alliance did this, because they ended up, like, they were doing really well at the start, and then they were doing kind of okay, but then they got out-harassed, and things got a little tough. It's basically going to translate into a really rough game for Loda. And they need to try to protect that. It's too important for him to get 6, at least 6, before he can actually do stuff.
And if you look at the cores on the side of NiP Storm, error. He's found himself the Soaring recipe. I think is that the completed Soaring coming out. I know, in fact, it was. He's getting himself a bottle on the way, which we do see a lot of cores opt for nowadays, even in the safe lane role. And
it's just so good, honestly. Like you just get so much HP out of it. You're always getting a bounty rune. Like as the late game goes on, you're almost already ready to get a rune. Might see a fight bottom. Ake might get caught. No, there's no clap. It's almost got the mana for it though. More pulls. This is really good.
Loda.
This is what they needed.
Playing with fire a little bit. Loda here. He has got no regen. He might have to go all the way back to base, and that's going to hurt Loda even more. And Troll, with this haste, he wants to find Pycat, and I think he might find the kill. The slows there from Pycat. Living armor. There's your magic missile. The rotation from Magicka just in time to turn that one round. And again, Pycat getting bailed out by the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, those support rotations are so important for this game, because it could have been a 2-0 in Troll's favor rather than Sniper getting 2 kills here. So this is going to pretty much guarantee that Pycat can do really well. He didn't get the kills this game, but you know, that extra EXP gain that he's getting is going to be really useful. So super big rotations there from Venge, and his skill build really worked out here. The -3 armor as well as the 2 stun early on by level 3 has been really profitable against the Troll.
Oh, look at that. The glimpse. Oh, but it works out perfectly because of the respawn time. He gets glimpsed back to where he died.
Wow.
And he's going to go die again. But how did that even happen? Does it? Yeah, because I guess it carries over. It doesn't. The time's not worked out whilst you're dead, is it? It carries over to the time before you. Oh my goodness, Purge.
That was such a meta play. So basically, a TP cooldown is what, 2.75 seconds or something like that.
Yep.
A glimpse is based on 4 seconds of time. So if you respawn and instantly teleport mid, and the support instantly glimpses you, you go back to where you were before, which is around where you died, 4 seconds. So that's a super meta play from Disruptor, and something that more Disruptors, I'm sure, are going to start working into their repertoires in the future, because that's just so abusive. And think about that went from like a kill
that was ridiculous
to easily 2 kills. I mean, it was as a result of him being under tower, but what a heads up play from Ake. Really smart.
That was absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, well played, Alliance, in that respect. And I think Jonathan fan, I think it's one of those things that happens to you, and the next time you'll be like, okay, I'm playing against a Disruptor, let's wait a couple of seconds before I TP in. Because if it doesn't happen to you, and if you didn't see it hit, you just don't expect that to happen. Limp?
You know, it's also possible that he wasn't intending to TP him under tower, that he maybe just wanted to send him back to really screw him over. But if you get lucky and he goes under the tier 1 tower that he just died at, then you get an extra little bonus there. Either way, it was going to hurt the Troll, but that was like in the best way possible. Loses 100 gold from a TP, and he dies again, and you get the gold for it. Like, what a big advantage they got.
And they certainly need this happening in the mid lane, because Loda really isn't having too much of a great time at all. He's managed to find himself 31 CS, so he's getting himself up the board up to 32. And as you were saying that, looking at the course, so you got your Storm 42 CS, level with the Sniper mid, and therefore the Chol in the mid lane for NiP, who's not been doing too great. Jonas and Fan is actually on par with Lotus, so we'll see what Loda's able to do on this hero. And I guess Slark, is he really a hero that can come back from a bad start? Or do you feel he does need to have a fairly good early game to be effective?
I mean, he can definitely come back, and it's not like Loda's not last hitting well. He's got 32 CS. Yeah. He's doing great considering how often I've seen him at no HP and having to move around the map. I think he's been doing great considering the circumstances. And it doesn't take that much to come back on Slark. And again, if you look at NiP's heroes, they'd have very, very few stuns. There's not that much that he has to worry about. Maybe like an overgrowth, but he's always got Dark Pact for that. And he's doing a good job getting farm. It's a hero that can even be played in the off lane, in pubs and things like that. So I think Loda's going to be just fine here. This won't be a big deal at all for him.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what he's able to make happen. And Era, how's he doing in terms of farm? The Soul Ring, the Treads have been picked up. Base boots now on the Troll, who was heading into the jungle for a bit of farm. I think he's had a little bit too much of a dramatic time in the mid lane and top lane. NiP coming in, Handscan with the Leech Seed. NiP, he has got the Surge. Era, he has got a point in the Electric Vortex, but he doesn't actually decide to use it. I guess, I don't know if he was just out of reach or just felt that they wouldn't get the kill anyway. Even so, there's going to be a response from Alliance, Magicka and Pycat storming in. But NiP, they're already out of there. They're playing it safe.
And something else cool that Darkseer can do is just Ion Shell one of the neutral creeps, and then that will do a ton of AoE damage, and that gives you a ton of farm extra. That's actually, Darkseer is one of the fastest farming offlane heroes in the game. It's just amazing how fast you can get last hits and farm pretty much anywhere. It's one of the really good benefits to the hero. Look at that, he just killed like a stacked camp while laning. It's just so good.
He's certainly getting a huge amount out of this. And with the buckler picked up and a little bit of the headdress now complete as well, it's going to be a fairly quick mechanism on this offlane DS. And now we see a smoke from Alliance. Ake and Magicka rotating towards the top lane. It would be fairly nice to get a kill on this Storm, who is doing pretty well so far. Error on 53 CS. If they find this kill, it could be a big success. They've got the magic missile. Disruptor level 6. There is a static storm. Yeah, this is going to be a nice potential if they're able to find the gap. They haven't quite got 6 on the Venge, so there is no swap. There's your Surge to try and close him with a magic missile, but Era dukes it out with a zip, and it's a little bit of an ambitious gank from Alliance, and one that if Era was always kind of had his wits with him, he was always going to get out of it.
Oh, they do find a troll though. That should be an easy kill. Yeah, another magic missile and a couple reckless. Don't even have to static storm for that one. So they get a pickup kill either way, a 5-0 advantage for them. I think it was a good attempt on the Storm. It was just Era's positioning was a little bit too close to the tower. I mean, the magic missile did almost hit him. It was very close. And if that would have hit, he would have died, because then it would have been static storm on top of it. So it was a good gank because of the situation. If Storm had so much mana that if they tried to do Thunderstrike into a glimpse, he easily would have gotten away, because he just would have balled max distance, and that would have been outside the glimpse range. So I think that was a good alternative for Alliance, and it just didn't quite work out. And luckily, the tree was out of position. I don't think tree should have died there. He was expecting them to back straight, but they shouldn't have gotten that kill. That was pretty sloppy from NiP after the first gank failed for the second one to succeed.
5-0. Here comes another rotation. Nika and Ake heading back to the mid lane. Still with that static storm not popped. They could find Jonas and Fan. There's the slow from the shrapnel. There's your glimpse. Kinetic field on the decks. Living Armor going to protect him for a little bit. Sealkid's actually walked into this. Maybe they can make it a 2-for-1. Jonas and Fan getting very low. He will go down at the end of it. A Chain Frost comes out in return for Sealkid, but doesn't achieve anything. Loda coming straight in with an Invis rune. The assassinate from Pycat. He's got himself a double kill onto the Lich. Nico going to get stunned up by the spirits. Can NiP find this error zipping in? There's your Electric Vortex, but the swap from Magicka saves the Darkseer. Loda, he wants to continue fighting. I think he might get a handscan. Yes, he can. It's a triple kill for Pycat. Somebody take the AWP out of his hands. This man with the ultra kill. Oh boy, is this CSGO or what? Because this gunplay is disgusting.
That was such a good fight, and Shrapnel really paid off like multiple times. It initially gave vision for the glimpse to pull them back into the fight, and then just a lot of Shrapnels breaking tree armor, killing retreats, sniping people that got low. Loda played that fight really well as well. He didn't have that many items. He only had gloves of haste and a boots, but look how much he was able to do. He pounced on the Lich, who was low. Luckily, he hit an invis. Obviously, it helped a lot. But a little bit of burst damage here, there. They forced the bruise split, and all the same time, he had no threat of dying. Low stuns, low AoE stun damage. he just popped his ulti, and he could do whatever he want. He contributed, he got levels, and now he's picked up a Midas and a Gloves of Face, which pretty much means that his comeback is assured. He'll be able to get a lot of levels to catch up and a lot of farm, and we'll see him playing a pretty normal carry in about 10 minutes here.
It was a great choice in terms of the order of the pickups he went for in that fight. He's focusing down on the key heroes and getting them out in a nice order indeed. 9-0. Look at the net worth for the individual heroes. The top 3 with the top net worth are all on the side of Alliance. Sniper, Darkseer, and Slark above the Storm, the Brew, and the Troll. And it might be more now. Hansken, he's ticking down. Yep, that's going to be enough. Pycat picks that one off. He's on a mega kill streak. He's on 6.4k net worth against the Storm, who is on 4. But it might be more now. I think Limp's going to get peeped here. He is. Oh, you just don't give Pycat the sniper. Come on. You just... Oh, Purge, it's disgusting.
He's playing really good, but you can't forget how important those Venge ganks were.
Oh yeah, the supports. Absolutely.
Like Pycat's been playing a solid sniper here, but the whole game could have been different if those kills swung a little bit differently in the mid lane. So I'm sure that's one of the things that's putting NiP on tilt here, especially the Troll Warlord. He's like, I almost killed Sniper twice, but Venge got there just in time and resulted in my kills. So while Pycat's playing amazing here, look at this. Effing Mad is just all over the map, just securing kills all over the place. He's got Tranquil Boots, he's got a Magic Wand, he's been in 8 of his team's 12 kills. This is really not just Pycat playing amazing, but really Effie Mad is absolutely stomping this game.
They find, oh man, they find the tree as well. 13-0 Alliance. They're back. I mean, recently their performances have been absolutely outstanding, and poor old NiP, it's just not their game, is it?
It's not looking too good, honestly. But I mean, what do you do when Alliance is playing this well? They're just rotating perfectly. They're outlaning you. They had a little bit of rough early going, but then they recovered really well. They're just playing fantastic.
These rotations have been absolutely insane, and I think you picked up upon it. It is the supports, Venge, and obviously Disruptor, Ake, and Magicka doing some incredible stuff. Loader, oh, he's going to have the ult. Can he live through this one? Come on, let's keep it flawless, boys. We don't want to lose anyone. Nikwa is going to be able to surge himself out. Arrow will duke out the Assassinate with the Storm Lightning. Hansken, he's fairly low. He's got himself under the cover of the tree. Seal Kid, he is going to get peepity-pooped. Limp pops the Primal Split, tries to turn on Loader, but it's going to be a turn and run affair. Throws him up in the air, but the Earth Spirit is heading back for the base. He's keeping himself safe. Ara contemplating whether he can find the pick off on Loader, but by the looks of it, he realizes it's not the best move. And oh man, NiP, what do they do at this point? What do they do?
3 or 4 man smoke ganks maybe would be okay. They need to get pick-offs. At this point, the comeback goal would be pretty high if they kill anybody, so I assume all of Alliance has streaks because nobody's died yet, so you've got a streak plus net worth difference, so probably a gank will be a Sack Storm, almost catching me. He actually comes him back, nicely done by Ake. This should be a kill here. The sounds might not be enough. Fall to the high ground as well as tree armor, and he should be getting away. Slightly too close to the edge there, but Aki was able to catch him. He had to glimpse him back, which was part of the problem there. But a good attempt at a kill. There's just so much pressure going down as well. Like, there haven't been that many towers that died yet. This will be the 3rd on the bot lane if it falls, but it's hard for NiP to get a control of things. And the other issue is they don't have a lot of stuns, so them winning team fights and ganking isn't as much about their spells than their actions. It's more like they have to have the right heroes, and it just gets so much harder when you don't have stuns as well, especially when you're behind. You can't really control your opponents as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if either team tries to go ahead into a fight, Alliance, they're just going to come out on top every time. XP-wise, it's a 7.5k difference. Gold-wise, we're up to 10k. Top lane, maybe they find a kill. Pycat getting fairly low, but he's got backup, and maybe he wants to turn. Jonas and Fan, he's going to get assassinated. No, he cancels it. It's not going to be quite enough damage. But still, Pycat gets himself a little bit low, but he's fine. Ake and Magicka at his side. Oh, but maybe now, zip in. Can Magicka save the sniper this time? No, he can't. Pycat, please. But the Storm throws his life away.
I can't wait to see the fight recap. Let's see what happens. It's actually really good for Storm still. He gets 644 gold. Maybe not really good, but I'm sure he got a level out of that. They do split some gold to the enemy team, but experience went to Alliance's favor, but gold went to NiP's favor. It's not terrible, honestly, at this point in the game. And they're on the board. That's the important part. That's a 1.
Yes, 18 minutes in, they've managed to climb up and get themselves a look in on the scoreboard. 15-1. 18.5 minutes in, and let's have a look at the core. NiP, Troll, how's he doing? Has he got his core items? He's got the face boots. He's got the Morbid Mask. He's closing in on enough money for the Helm of Iron Will to finish off that Dominator. And that means he's going to farm relatively quickly in the jungle. He could be able to take a Roche on the odd occasion, but it's going to be something it's going to be very risky to go for a Roche attempt when Alliance are this far ahead, isn't it? Unless you get a really sneaky, perfectly windowed timed where you see Alliance, they're pushing up the top lane, going for a fight elsewhere, and you can kind of sneak it past them.
It looks like they're smoking right now, and there's 5. They do smoke. We'll see what they do with this. I don't think they can Roche that fast. They don't have that much minus armor. They can Roche because of Lich armor. Oh, and look at that. Slark actually breaks it here. He doesn't realize he's got a Shadow Blade. They're going to find 1. That's the illusion. They blink forward, and Smoke Cake is wasted. Ball comes through, but that is the worst possible thing that can happen to NiP right there. They finally organized. They're like, we're going to take a fight. We're going to try to get a little bit of a pick off, and it doesn't work. Might see a swap of smoke from them on the other side, but they're so fast. Oh, there's a glimpse. Ward perfectly placed down. They catch him. No static storm needed. Just a couple right-click nukes, and the assassinate comes through as well. Troll may die. He does go down. Trying to pick up more. Great swap.
Limp goes down. In comes the Chain Frost. It's not going to put Lodo off from chasing this one down. He's up to the high ground. He got forced up by, was it, who has the 4-star? Someone has the 4-star. Magic Missile. It's 18-1. The only survivors of that fight being the Storm and the Treant. And, oh, maybe even not. Have they got detection hit? No, they haven't. Can they go for Roshan themselves? Well, yeah, definitely. When they're this far ahead, when Pycat has got his S&Y, his Mask of Madness complete, yes, and obviously with that old Medallion of Courage on Magicka, this is going to be a quick one. Can they go for a steal? Error. He might think about this. Error. Come on, can he go for the blaze? He tries it. He goes in. Yeah. He's going to get the Aegis, but I think he dies twice. Can they control him? Do they have any stuns? There's Overgrowth actually to stop it. The NiP, they're trying to turn this fight around. Error zips out. Primal Split was popped in the pit. Magicka getting fairly low. Jonas and Fan coming in with the axes. Pounce from Loda is actually just going to catch Jonas and Fan on the tip. Error zipping in. Found Magicka in the middle of the bruise splits. That is going to be 1 casualty for the side of Alliance, but they do get the Roche. But Storm, Error with the plays, stealing it, and the fight's not over by the looks of it. In comes the glimpse onto Troll, bringing him into the pit. He's going to chill around there, hope no one comes looking for him, but they certainly will. Ake pops down the party ring. Pycat chipping away from outside. The tree's already gone down. Troll is going to quickly follow suit, walks into the face of Pycat, stares down the barrel of the sniper, and 20-2.
Wow, Troll has died 8 times this game. That's amazing. They've done such a good job ganking him. Like, if this guy's not on tilt, I don't know what's gonna put him on tilt. That was just sick plays from Era though. Really good timing on that. He did 2 things really interestingly. First of all, he got there anticipating it, but most importantly, he stunned the hero that was very likely to get the Aegis. What most players do when they go for a Roche steal is they just spam on it. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna grab it faster than their opponent. But Era extra guaranteed it. He said, I know who's gonna take it. It's gonna be Sniper. He's in position. If I stun that guy and then attack Roche, then the only person going for it is going to be me or maybe a flustered support, which gives him a big advantage on that. And not only did he steal Aegis, he actually got the last hit. So that gave his team a big gold boost. He got the last hit, he got the Aegis, he finished his Orchid. Even if he died in that fight, I think that was going to be completely worth it. Because that also hurts Alliance's chance to force the next fight. If Alliance had this gold advantage plus an Aegis, that would be tier 2s falling, no problem. NiP can't fight that. But now, the game is a little bit more reset. It's as if the Roche never happened, and it's like NiP got a free tower.
Yes, Error's place certainly out, holding them in for the time being. Looking at the graphs, how do they're still leveling up around the 7.5k and 10k, but at least the gold advantage and net gain in terms of XP has stopped increasing. So NiP, they are going to be happy with that, and maybe they can look to kind of stabilize the state of the game and work it back in their favor. Even though in terms of just performance and kills, they're pretty far behind at this point. The push coming in from Alliance on the bottom lane. Pycat chipping away at the tower. It's half elf already on the front lines. You've got Loda He's ready to go, and he's found Hansken, but Hansken with the Nature's Guide. Oh, the Assassinate providing the true sight. Beautiful play there from the two of them. Loda's going to get himself surged out. He's been silenced up. He's going to get dragged by the electric vortex and will get bursted down. That's a big kill there, but the big wall happens. There's your shrapnel slow. Seal Kid getting taken down by the sniper. Can the illusions finish him off? Pike out on the back of the fight, fighting up against the Brewmaster illusions, and yes, Lich does go down to the illusions from the wall. So even though they lose Loda, they do find some stuff and limp. Oh, the shrapnel beautifully finding out where he's blinked to in the tree line, cancelling the TP. Alliance, when does it stop? Because at the moment, they're on the verge of being unstoppable.
And these fights are just going so well in their favor. They're team fighting really well. The only mistake there was that Loda got caught a little bit out of position, but he did get a kill before he went down. It was a great surge from Nikwa as well, but there's just too much focus from NiP, and the Orchid guaranteed that he couldn't ulti either. So good fight there from NiP, but it just wasn't enough because they're so stupidly far behind. So they get another tower, they win another team fight. They do lose their carry, but not that big of a deal because Pycat's also doing really well, and they don't have to worry about this at all. This game's pretty in their favor.
Yes, to say the least, to put it lightly. Oh man, Nika finds himself a regen rune, and this is a pretty rich Darkseer. He is second on the net worth behind this sniper, taking all the glory, finding all the kills. As you said, Darkseer, he just farms so quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can go anywhere. Once you have a soul ring, you can jungle any camp except for the large camp. You can push lanes out, you can drop an iron shell and walk away and still get farm. All that stuff is possible, not to mention your hero is really tanky, difficult to kill, especially when you get a 4-staff against Orchids and things like that. You can save whoever gets gone on by Storm a little bit or buy them some seconds. And always farming, always team fighting. While Replica's still a pretty good ultimate, the illusions it spawns do a lot of right-click damage. So they're actually not bad illusions, and it's really good teamfight disruption as well. It's kind of, what's a good example? There's probably some teamfight here that's obnoxious to play against right now, and Darkseer used to always be like that. People used to just hate playing against Darkseer, like, oh, it can never push high ground. He just spawns all these illusions, and then the pipe pushes over. It's so stupid. But it's kind of interesting to see the change. And there's a vacuum. Like, vacuum's not even bad. It's a 0.5 second stun, actually. It's a 0.5 second AoE stun at a huge range. That's not terrible at all. And it's something you can use to break TPs. It's not a bad hero. Darkseer's still pretty good. He's just kind of boring to play.
Yes, yeah, but until you get those big team fights with the walls and it feels very satisfying. Storm, he's going to get picked out here on the top lane, which is going to be another big kill there for Alliance. They did lose Loda on the top lane to the Storm, who zipped in, got him with a nice Orchid, but at the same time, bottom lane, we did see Alliance pick themselves up a kill. And now, overall, turning to about a 2-1, really, in terms of the last couple of minutes of action. Again, favouring Alliance, and again, putting them very, very far ahead. 25-4, XP and gold. It's starting to get worse. It kind of leveled off around the 10k, but now the momentum is back there for Alliance, and it certainly will be even more so if they're able to take this tier 2 in the mid lane.
I really like this build that Ake went for. One of the true terrors in Dota 2 lately has been Storm Spirit, just because of comeback gold and things like that. Might see Loda come in and initiate. Guess not. But the Eul's really provides a really solid solution against Storm, who doesn't want to buy BKB ever. Because if you just get within Eul's range, you guarantee catch him in your ulti, and it's really hard to do a glimpse combo against a Storm, actually. Like, Disruptor counters Storm well, but you have to be able to glimpse into something else, or you need somebody else to set up a stun so you can static Storm on top of it. But the Eul's does the same thing. It gives you movement speed so you can initiate, but more importantly, you guarantee that you can kill the Storm Spirit. So if you're anywhere close to the Storm, you can set up the combo, and most of the time, just setting up the combo is the hardest part by far. So I really like the Eul's pick up here. We could see Disruptor a lot more as a support against annoying Storm Spirit games, just because Glimpse works in the early game, and then in the mid to late game you'll have Eulson. At least force him to get a BKB.
And as you were saying earlier, we've seen how well it's been working with the vacuum from the Darkseer, allowing them to get off some very, very big static storms. NiP, all in their jungle at the moment. What's the plan? Troll and Storm heading to the top lane, whereas we do have Tree, Limp, and Seal Kid hanging around. Are the side of Alliance going to go straight into the jungle? Do they want to fight a fight? Looks like Loda does it. Straight in he goes. He's going to jump on Hansken. Hansken, oh, he's being held back away from the trees. Is he going to go down there? He's going to TP out, but the glimpses there from Ake. That's going to be one kill. Oh, no, hang on, no, it wasn't. There we go. But I'm finally able to finish off the tree. 26-4. Again, Alliance, they look for the kills. They go aggressive, and they get away with it.
I'm sure Loda doesn't even care that much that that kill took forever, because he was able to steal 9 stacks of stats there. That gives him 27 agility. It's like a free Eagle song in that fight. Not that Slark has good base stats in the first part, so it's like he's actually making up for his terrible stats here, but you know, he's still really farm. Does he have Scotty coming out? Just
what's he got?
orb.
Okay. He's getting there. He's getting there. And now, maybe the push for the high ground. Alliance, they've got all 5 members here. NiP, how do they want to react to this? They do throw down the ice armor onto the tier 3 to buy themselves a little bit of time. Magicka.
It's helping a lot.
It really is. It's slowing down the push.
Did you see the list skill build too? He went all into frost armor. He didn't get many sacrifice. He was saying so bad that we need as much armor as we can get, and it's making a huge difference on this tower.
It's certainly holding
it also
the...
slows people too.
Yeah, what's the movement slot? It's about...
I think it's halved on range, so it should be 15%. Okay. Which isn't amazing, but it's something, you know?
It is, and it certainly seems to have put Alliance off hanging around too long. They do manage to get half of the damage there. They head back, and there's going to be a gem now on the way to Ake. Smoke up from NiP, straight from the base. Here's kind of round 2. We saw them try it the first time. Wasn't too successful. Maybe with this smoke, they can accomplish something a little bit greater. Are they going to go for
Roche? The main
Roche?
push got pulled away because there was an illusion from Brewmaster that pulled the creep wave out, which is why it's stacked now. This is a good call. They're going to ulti the troll. I don't know if they're going to predict this or not. They're like, huh, why is troll ulti? That's weird.
Yeah,
Roche is going to die. They haven't moved yet. They're like, oh, surely they're in our base. If they can get Roche here and TP back, they're still going to be in a really good spot. Not all of them have TPs, though.
Okay, let's see what they do. Error, yeah, zipping his way back, but only slowly. TP's going to come in from Brewmaster. So Brewmaster's the only one in the base. Fortification has been popped. And NiP, they need to get themselves back here quickly. They've got Lich now available for the fight. Do Alliance stick around? They'd be fighting it into an Aegis. So maybe now is not the time to go to high ground.
Yeah, that's smart of them to back off. Things would be pretty tough there. Zera's likely got buyback, and he's also got Aegis, so he can die 3 times. That's 3 storm lives that you can use, and as soon as he dies, he's back in the fight because he's going to ball across the map. I've lost way too many games recently to Storm Spirit balling from his base and doing half of everybody's HP in terms of damage. And if he has an Aegis and a buyback for that, like, how can you win that fight? It's actually not possible.
No, yes, you don't want to be fighting into that at all. And I think NiP maybe realised that if they want to try and go on the aggressive with this advantage, this little advantage that they have got in this window of the match, Jonas and Fan leading the way into the jungle. Isn't going to find anyone. In fact, well, Loda's going to be finding Error, but he's not going to be able to do too much without any kind of lockdown. Sentry is going to be popped down by the side of NiP. He's going to do too much against the Slarkop, but if he comes back again with the Invis, Nikwa is going to get orchided up. Hansken in the tree line, magic missile and a few chips from Pycat. That is going to be a kill, and well,
for a hex.
They want to find more. Yeah.
Alright, he does end up hexing the Lich.
That is a kill.
Oh, they get Storm?
I think they will.
What a big glimpse.
Can they kill him again, though? The Prama Split's pop. They're hitting down on Magicka. Pycat, he's just destroying these Brewlings. Error, he should be able to zip away. He's got a lot of mana. In fact, he wants to fight. Look at that. They bring down Ake, but with that wall in the center of it all, Error needs to get himself the hell out. He's not going to be able to do so with the mana all gone. Jonas and Fan, even with the BKB, just can't fight against this physical damage coming from the Slark and the Sniper. It's 4 heroes down on the side of NiP, and the side of Alliance, they only lose the supports.
It's just really good pickups from Alliance there. They killed the Lich, so with Hex, so no Chain Frost, and then the important part is they glimpsed Storm. They were able to kill him right at the start of the fight before he used mana. If he was able to go attacking, I mean, think of what happened when he respawned from Aegis. He still killed 1 hero, plus was pretty annoying. If he's able to do that twice instead of just once in that fight, the fight would have been completely different. We might have seen an actual team fight win for NiP. And instead, Pycat just stands there and he right-clicks everybody. And there's the ball from base.
Yeah, the damage is down. Loda, he will go down. And they do find a kill. They did lose the Treant. Hanskin kind of walked into the gem. And Sniper did just A-click the ground on him. Error out of mana. Nikwa on his own, though, can't really turn on this, especially with the backup from Limp and Jonas and Fan in the nearby neighborhood. So he's going to find himself a very lucky Invis rune, and he'll be able to get himself out.
So the buybacks were used, and it didn't really look like NiP lost that much gold, and it's most likely, you could look at that as one of the issues with the patch right now, is that the buybacks that you use, it doesn't really matter that much because as long as you get a couple kills, your gold is back up to where it was. There's very little risk to using buybacks, at least, especially on a Storm, because Storm can do so much. So in some ways, you could look at Storm similar to how we used to see Tinkers or even Medusas, things like that.
Oh, maybe look at this. Yeah, Limp getting glimpsed back into the Static Storm. Is the damage there to bring him down? Yes, there is, with a Scythe coming in at the last moment to hold him in place in case the Static Storm wore out. And Pycat with the Assassinate. Pycat on this sniper, 17 kills, 11 assists. He's only died the once. He's been involved in 28 out of the 33 kills his team has had. You've got it, NiP. If they don't ban out the sniper next game, I just don't know. I mean, unless they pick up something that's going to be able to deal with the sniper a little bit better. But what do you do against this sniper, Purge? In terms of drafting, did NiP not go the best way around it?
Maybe they need to do like a really safe normal tri lane, something less weird. Like they try to do Lich Brew in the off lane, but Alliance adjusted their lanes appropriately. If they just try to do like a safe tri lane and maybe gank the sniper, like when we saw the 1v1 matchup, it was always Troll versus Sniper solo. There was never any rotation. That's because both Tree and Lich can't really rotate. They're not normal ganking heroes. So maybe they just needed to pick a safe tri lane against it. Maybe that'd be the solution here.
And there we go. This is going to be the middle racks going down fairly quickly. Overgrowth will come and the Chain Frost to follow up. Is the damage enough? It doesn't look like it. Seal Kid will fall. Jonas and Fan pops a BKB, but he's almost certainly just going to go down to Loaded. Actually, he's man fighting up against Loaded. It's going quite well. NiP is going to get caught up by the Orchid from Arrow, who's also brought himself a BKB. And it is a 1 for 2 so far. NiP probably will fall here. There's your Scythe. He tries to surge himself up, but it's not enough. It's a 2 for 2. Pycat, oh, he's going to be fine. Magic Missile onto Arrow, and Pycat, he just sits there and chips away. Limp is trying to fight up against this sniper, but the little man, he eats bears for breakfast. 4 down on the side of NiP. Alliance do lose 3 heroes, but still, Pycat, you're just not going to be able to kill him.
His itemization this game has been exactly what you need to do. A lot of games when you play Sniper against a diver like Storm, you don't end up buying Mask of Madness, but considering he was so far ahead, it's okay to pick it up. And he uses Mask of Madness really well that fight. When Storm was jumping around with BKB on, he didn't use it. He waited until he wanted to kill the boost. Might get a Troll now. I think, yeah, this is going to be killed. Too much minus armor here on the Troll, and there's really not a lot he can do there. Maybe another kill as well. If he can get a second kill here, this would be huge. They might even be able to take tier 3 tower. Speeds forward, 3-shot the... the tree. What do you do at this point? But I really like the Sanji and Yasha's pretty standard. That Mask of Madness is decent if he's ahead, and then he got a BKB to guarantee that a Storm went on him first, that he would be able to survive the burst. Good game is called from NiP, and that is going to be the end of game 1. Just really good itemization, huge advantage, good support play from Alliance. They picked the right heroes. They shut down what NiP was dealing with using their disruptor, and then Slark in the mid to late game was great at initiating and starting fights that are advantageous. Like, just really good draft team. Fantastic play from Alliance there, and what a convincing game 1.
Absolutely, bordering on ridiculous. That sniper 20-1, and just looking at the scoreboard for the side of NiP, it was not a great game for them. Troll didn't have the best of times in the mid lane. Jonas and Fan, the guy that we normally do see on the off lane, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they stick to their roots. As you said, run a safe lane, tri lane, keep it a little bit safer, make sure that they do have that effective core that's going to be able to come in. Error on the Storm was able to find a few nice pickoffs, but it just wasn't enough compared to the rotations from Alliance. Just far too much for the side of NiP to deal with. But game 1, game 2, it's a best of 3. There's the possibility for teams to have a little bit of a jumble in their brains, rethink their strats, and come back with something totally new to turn the tide in game 2. But first of all, we'll have to run a quick advert and Purge. I'll be back with you in a minute, so